Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel where skincare is all about progression over perfection, because perfection doesn't exist. And speaking of things not being so great or perfect, today I want to share some products that I tried so hard to use up and like, but I just couldn't use them anymore. They were impossible to empty. I've been struggling for like video inspiration this week, but I saw Tina Harris, who's one of my favorite product reviewers, do this like non-empty video, and I thought I want to do that too. So definitely check out her videos, her channel in general, especially if you want to know more about Japanese beauty. So yeah, I'm going to show the products that, to be honest with you, I'm never going to empty, and the alternatives. When I say never going to empty, they're going to be used on my body, just nowhere near my face. Let's start off with this brand. I call it Numb Buzzin', but I think it might be Noom Buzzin'. This is their number 3 toner super glowing essence. This is kind of your typical essence in the sense that it's meant to give you brighter, younger looking skin. You know, very much an essence in the sense of what K-Beauty introduced essences to be. So they've got 50 different types of fermented ingredients in here, and that is loads. Usually you'll find 1 or 2 in an essence, but it's those fermented ingredients that makes an essence an essence. Looking at the ingredients in here, it's crazy. We have so many fermented ingredients: algae extract ferment, Saccharomyces ferment filtrate, soybean ferment extract, rice ferment filtrate, Galactomyces ferment filtrate, Bifida ferment filtrate, all those key fermented ingredients that we see in essences, but about 45 extra, and it's really just a load of fermented proteins and fruits and vegetables and plants, which isn't a bad thing. It's great. However, it's extremely fragrant, and I always say this, I always have to preface this by saying I enjoy fragrance in my skincare. However, this has such an old-fashioned fragrant smell to it that transports me back to the early 2000s, and I feel like maybe they had to do this because there is such a huge amount of fermented ingredients in here. I feel like there had to be some kind of like masking smell, right? Because Saccharomyces ferment filtrate on its own, for example, has a very particular smell. Galactomyces ferment filtrate, I think, what's the SK2 one as well. If you ever smell SK2, it has a kind of like, I don't know how to describe the smell. It's not horrible, but it's also not nice, and I think times that by 50, it's going to be an odd smell. However, the added fragrance, which is geraniol and citronellol, I don't enjoy. I don't like. My skin doesn't like it. I don't enjoy the smell. Yeah, it's very old-fashioned. Unfortunately for this, the smell kind of lingers. This was so hydrating. It was so brightening. It was so soothing in some ways as well, but I'll be honest, I dreaded using this. Absolutely dreaded it because that smell just lingers. If I use it in the evening, I would get a headache. Like, it's such a strong smell. It's unfortunate. It is unfortunate. I just wonder if there's like something else they can use to kind of mask all that smell, you know? If you don't mind fragrance, if you don't mind that very old-fashioned, almost floral, what's the word? Like almost like aromatherapy. Yeah, it's like aromatherapy kind of oil smell. You could probably really enjoy this if your skin doesn't mind it. But for me, this is going to be used on like the back of my arms, on my back, all that kind of stuff. On my back, I don't know, wherever. This is going to be used on my body because I just cannot get over the smell. My alternative will be a firm favorite, a tried and true. No, I can't remember. I've used this for years and years and years. This is Time Revolution, the first essence by Missha. This is like the 5th generation of this essence. They're kind of known for constantly reformulating and improving. Some of them have been hit or miss, but their extreme ferment, a trademark, is really nice. It's kind of back to the good old days, but with a bit more of a punch. So they have 97% desert seeker yeast ferment, which does all the things you want from a fermented ingredient. So whilst it doesn't have 50 different types of fermented ingredients, it has a really good percentage of that one key fermented ingredients, which, to be honest with you, is all your skin really needs. If you're looking for clearer skin, more moisturized, hydrated skin, brighter skin, smoother skin, hyperpigmentation, it kind of does it all. And I feel like essences were what made K-Beauty so popular because they weren't really a thing over here, you know? And then people started to see the real difference that these kind of ingredients and fermented ingredients and kind of products made. And people really started to see the kind of difference that essences could make. Then we have niacinamide in here again, another key ingredient in essences, you know, for your pores, sebum production, all that kind of stuff, evening out skin tone. We also have ceramides and glycerin as well. Skin barrier favorites, moisturizing, hydrating favorites. And you can find this between £10 to £20. So this is more expensive for a little less product, I'll be honest with you. But this isn't about cheaper alternatives. This is just about better alternatives. I feel like because the sheer amount of ingredients and the triggering fragrance for me, this will set my skin back, whereas this will just improve it. This is kind of an annoying, not an annoying one, but this is the Anua Peach 70 Niacin Serum. As you can see, I've been using it on and off sporadically, maybe 3 to 4 times a week. I haven't used a dedicated niacinamide serum for a really long time, since Naturium's one actually. So the 70% is kind of misleading. I think a lot of people think this is a 70% niacinamide serum, but it's a 5% niacinamide serum with 70% peach fruit extract. And both are in here to kind of help with the smoothness of your skin, more even toned skin. And again, we have desert yeast in here, which we saw in this essence, hyaluronic acid as well, but we also have alpha-arbutin in here. We have ceramides, betaine salicylate, which is like a gentler version of salicylic acid, Centella asiatica, panthenol, hydrolyzed hyaluronic acid. It is a really interesting and really quite good serum. My issue is, again, this is the last of this actually, there's a pattern between these two. It's the fragrance. It's so old-fashioned. It's very Avon. That's all I can describe it as. It's very floral, fake, synthetic peach Avon kind of smell that again does kind of take over and gives me a bit of a headache. I'm gonna use this up, so this is a bit of a cheat, but I'm struggling to use it. I am struggling to get through it because I dread using it every time. The fragrance is just too much. It's too much. If they made this to smell like nothing, I would absolutely love it. If they made it and they didn't put artificial fragrance in and it just smelled like that crayon-y kind of like lab smell that non-fragrance products have, I wouldn't mind. Coloring, I don't mind at all. It's cute, right? But it's just stinky. It's so smelly. It's so smelly. It's around £30 as well, which nowadays is kind of standard for your 30mm serum, unless you're getting it from like the Inky List or the Ordinary. So honestly, it's a good price. And if it didn't smell, I would be repurchasing it. I'm going to use it up, but it's not going to get bought again. You might like this smell. You might not mind this smell at all. Think like floral peach. But again, it's just not my cup of tea. It's like spraying a fragrance on myself daily that I don't really want to be wearing. The scent is that specific. A product I would say that is probably going to pack the same punch that this serum does with all the benefits and all the key ingredients and really interesting ingredients is Remedy for Dark Spots. This has retinol, mandelic acid, kojic acid, glutathione, I always struggle with that, licorice root, tranexamic acid, niacinamide, silymarin, and acetyl glucosamine. Such an amazing core amount of ingredients. I've been using this since its launch and I've really been enjoying it so far. No scent for my rosacea. It's been absolutely fine. I've been using this probably like every couple of days, every other day, sorry, alongside Remedy for pore size. My skin's been loving it. No issues at all. No smell, no stinging sensation. Not that this does that for you, but with the sheer amount of amazing actives in here, you'd think it would be kind of like troublesome for somebody with rosacea or easily sensitized skin, and it's not at all. And this is $38, so a little bit more expensive, but I actually feel like it's gonna benefit your skin more than this will. One product I really wanted to like was Rose Pineapple Refresh Daily Cleanser. Now, I say I really wanted to like because I feel like their skincare so far has been fine. Like it's nice. It works. It's absolutely fine. Lip products have been amazing. As I mentioned again, the latest batch have been a little bit gristly. I put some on this tinted one actually, and it's kind of just all gristle at the moment. So a shame, but I wanted this cleanser to be nice. So they call this a refreshing balm to lava daily cleanser, formulated with polyglutamic acid, green tea extract, and pineapple enzyme. So it's kind of gently exfoliating, refreshing, soothing, hydrating. It sounds incredible. It sounds incredible. It says gentle enough to use morning and evening use and safe for sensitive skin. However, this dried me out a lot and I don't know how. Again, it very much reminded me of like a Clearasil kind of cleanser, the state that I left my skin in. As a product, it seems nice. Like you use it and the lava feels kind of like soft and bouncy, but then you rinse it away and my skin has been left tight. It's been left dry, kind of like thirsting for hydration. So whenever I use this, I had to tone quite a fair few times and use a really nice hydrating serum. This will go in the shower and I'll be using it on my body absolutely fine, especially in the summer. It's just not for me, unfortunately. So with that in mind, knowing that it's meant to kind of like refresh the skin, hydrate the skin, have kind of this gentle exfoliating kind of thing to it. Beekman 1808, this is their vegan goat milk oil eliminating foaming gel cleanser with succinic acid. The link here isn't pineapple because they use pineapple enzymes, which is exfoliating, and they use pineapple ceramides to help support your skin barrier, obviously. But we do have succinic acid in here, which is going to help control that sebum. And teamed with the vegan goat milk, this kind of like washes away everything without drying you down. It's a much, you can hear, it's a much liquidy texture compared to this, which is almost like a creamy texture. And you get the hydration from this that I was lacking in this. Within that vegan goat milk, you have these coconut fatty acids, 17 amino acids derived from oat, and sugarcane lactic acid as well. I don't know how much lactic acid you're gonna get in the vegan milk. And actually saying that, they do have pineapple fruit extract, which is again, a very mild exfoliant. So yeah, this just has much more moisturizing, hydrating, and kind of soothing properties. Kind of what I wanted this to be, but this one's better. This one is actually $28 for 150 milliliters, and this is $18 for 118 milliliters. This is a newer product. This is the Heartleaf 77% Soothing Toner. This is a very recent, I've maybe been trying this for about 3 weeks now. Obviously, the star ingredient's been Heartleaf, which is soothing. So Heartleaf, otherwise known as Hoitiana Cordata extract, I believe, it's got 77% in here, is kind of like a traditional medicine. It's known to be soothing, calming, healing, anti-inflammatory. It's healing. I said that, didn't I? Antioxidant. We also have Centella asiatica in here. We have panthenol, and then moisturizing, hydrating ingredients like betaine, glycerin, grape and apple fruit extract. It sounds like a nice toner. What I find bizarre though is when did I ruin my skin barrier? About 3 weeks ago when I first started using this, and I was like, oh, okay. I was like, this might be good. Picked it up and it stung fine. My skin barrier was a little bit more ruined than usual. However, when products usually sting, I will put them to the side like I did and then give them another go when my skin barrier is in a bit of a better position or not as irritated. No, you're kind of meant to use these soothing toners. So after about the first week when my skin was getting a lot better, I started using this again, still stung. 2 weeks later, stung. When my skin barrier is fully healed and I'm back to using actives, this stings my skin, and it shouldn't. The whole point is that it's soothing. It's also too watery that it just kind of like, you put it in the palm of your hands and it just goes all down your arms. You put it on a cotton pad, the cotton pad like soaks it up. It's just, I've just not had a nice time using this product at all. So the actual toner that I started to use to kind of like help relieve my skin and soothe my skin was the Purito Wonder Relief Centella Toner. This is the unscented version, new packaging, slightly reformulated. Of course, Centella asiatica to help soothe the skin, allantoin, panthenol, madecassoside to help soothe as well. Then all these amazing moisturizing and hydrating ingredients, and this did exactly what it's supposed to do. It calmed down redness on my skin, any inflammation, any irritation. There was no stinging whatsoever. This just feels like a drink for your skin. Very, very lightweight. Honestly, I don't expect anything less from Purito. I think Purito are very, very good at merging that kind of like nature meets science, traditional medicine meets science, and creating products that just work. I was a little bit worried when they reformulated their products because their products are so iconic and everybody loves them, but they seem to be just as good. I also like the new packaging. I much prefer this. But yes, if you want a toner or a serum-y stage that actually soothes and calms irritated skin, or just a general toner to use that's going to hydrate, this one is really, really good. This is around £30 for the larger size, and this is about £20 for the same size, no? 200 milliliters, 250. Oh, that's 250, that's 200, but this one works. For me anyway, you might love them still. This is the Ultraviolet SPF 50 Supreme Screen Hydrating Facial Sunscreen. Last time I used this was 2 years ago, and I enjoyed it then, and I kind of enjoyed it now. What I like about this one in particular is that it's very fluidy. It's easier to layer up. It's got antioxidants in it, vitamin C in the form of Kakadu plum. It does have a slightly odd tint to it that when it goes on, it's a little bit lighter, but from what I can see, it's not got any mineral filters in. So this does have Tinasorb M in it, so it is kind of like that hybrid filter. So I think that might add to that kind of like slight white cast, which does disappear on my skin tone. What I dislike about it is the smell. I don't remember its smell. I know this is like a whole smell thing, but it's kind of got this like very herby smell to it. Again, what they say, like the best sunscreen you can buy is the one you're going to constantly use, and to have something, a product whose job it is to sit on your skin and on your face daily whilst you reapply and reapply and reapply, it shouldn't smell bad. It can't smell bad. I used to remember layering this up absolutely fine. Now I don't know if they've reformulated or if my skin's just changed, but as I apply this throughout the day, it goes on light and nicely, and it's not pilling up or anything, but it looks bad. I don't know what it is, but I put it on and you can kind of see all the texture on my skin. It's almost like the more I put on, I don't know, like it's drying down different or it's setting on the skin different. I don't know. Especially in the corners of my nose, it looks like it's gathering more. It's not pilling, but it just looks like it's gathering. On my forehead where I do have a bit more texture, the texture's kind of amplified. I don't know what it is, but it's doing that. It's just doing that. My alternative is the Round Lab sunscreen SPF 50 plus PA++. This is just the most hydrating, moisturizing sunscreen without being greasy, without being oily. It's perfect to reapply and reapply and reapply throughout the day. And it gives you that same glowy, dewy, natural dewy glow each time you apply it without looking heavier. Again, we have vitamin C in here. We have ascorbic acid in here. We also have niacinamide and adenosine, I believe. Yes, and adenosine as well. So you kind of get like all the benefits of a nice daytime moisturizer, which is what this feels like with the sunscreen protection. And this is a product I've bought over and over and over. I can reapply and reapply. Unless you're super, super oily, super greasy, there's no reason you won't like this, I'd like to think. So this is £34 for 50 milliliters. And for 50 milliliters, this one is around £20. You can get it a little bit cheaper or a few pounds more expensive depending on where you shop from. But yeah, I love this. This is like a constant multi-award winner. It's popular for a reason. So that is it. All those products are gonna get used up. They'll get used on my body or given to a friend or whatever. I just can't keep using them for the reasons above. Let me know in the comments. I'll be interested to hear what you have to say about what products you kind of like were enjoying, but you just couldn't use up, like you really struggled to get through them. Leave them in the comments down below. You can watch some more product reviews here, some general light entertainment here, and I'll see you over there.